What's up, Inland Empire? I'm Jessica Q, your host. Today, we have a very unique show. I'm really excited about today's show because we've got a musical guest. We've got Alejandro Ruiz. What's up, Alejandro? How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you. We are so excited to have you here today. So Alejandro is an IE native and he is only 19 years old. He's making music. Not only is he making, like, you're making your own music.
Yes.
And so many other things. So I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, you're welcome. You know what? Do me a favor and come a little bit closer to the mic, okay?
Would you like me to pull it forward?
Yeah, go ahead and pull it forward. There you go.
All
yeah,
right.
we want to make sure everybody can hear you.
Yeah.
All right. So, Alejandro, what city are you from?
I'm originally from Fontana, California.
Okay.
And I'm studying right now at the University of Redlands.
Awesome. Yeah. So you're always in the IE.
Yeah,
you got
always
stuff.
in the IE. Yep. I like do shows every now and then, Riverside, Fontana. Yeah.
And I recently just saw you perform at the International Food Festival, and you were so amazing. The crowd loved you.
Thank you.
And so we definitely had to bring you on the show.
Yeah.
You know, we want to highlight, the young people that are out there, really like you're putting yourself out there. And I love that. And so let's talk to the audience a little bit about yourself. Like, tell us how you got into music. Like,
all right. Yeah. So I was first inspired to play music through my grandfather. For me, he's the classical guitar genius. And from a very young age, I was about 9 years old at my grandparents' house. And I heard him, he had left from the dinner table and he walks to the other room. And it sounds like he had put on the radio. And so you hear this classical guitar playing. And but then when I looked over, I was like, wait, that's not the radio. That's my grandpa playing. And so it was from that moment that I just fell in love with the sound of the guitar and music. And I was like, I want him to teach me how to play. But I was too shy to ask. So I had my dad, it's on my dad's side.
Okay.
So he said, will you teach my son how to play? He's like, sure. And so we sat down for a minute and he taught me just a couple of riffs on the guitar, super easy. And that was like my first time with the guitar in my hands playing music.
Wow.
And then he had said, he's like, wow, you're a fast learner. And so I had stuck with the guitar for a little bit after that. And then I eventually got my own guitar for Christmas and I joined the elementary school band.
Oh,
and
look at you. Okay.
So I was playing a clarinet for a little while. That's where I learned how to read music.
Okay.
And
from the clarinet.
From the clarinet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so, I mean, there's a lot because you've got a piano in front of you because you're going to be playing a song at the end of our show. So you play the piano,
I play the
guitar.
Piano, I play the guitar. I sing. I'm actually on month 2 of learning the violin. That's been a challenge, but it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
I was playing clarinet before. I don't really play it as much anymore.
Do you know how, like, if somebody gave you one, you could probably
I could
bust out a few tunes?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would say my primary instruments are piano and guitar. Yeah.
Very nice. And so at 9 years old, you obviously it runs in the family too. If your grandpa was, playing music. And then so how did it, grow from there? So you joined the school band.
I joined the school band. So that's where I learned how to read music. And then I realized I was like, I want to play the piano. And so I was about 12 years old. And so I started teaching myself how to play the piano. I got a piano for Christmas. And 1 year later, I was like, I want to pick up the guitar too. And so I was really into the Beatles music at the time.
Oh.
And so that's really what inspired me to learn a whole bunch of songs on the guitar. And from there was just no stopping me at that point.
Wow. Okay. What's your favorite Beatles song to play on the guitar?
My favorite Beatles song, I got to say Something.
Something? Okay.
Yeah.
Next time you'll have to bring your guitar so you can play it for us.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay. And then, from there, so you're learning all these different instruments. Yeah. And then did you start a band or, how did you take it to the next level?
Yeah. So actually, when I was in 8th grade, my brother had taken me to his high school. There was this band that was playing songs by the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, all this classic rock music. And he's like, let's go to this show. And so he took me. And I still remember I was in 8th grade, so maybe 14 years old, I think. And I was watching these guys playing their classic rock songs, and I go up to them after. I'm like, I want to be just like you guys in the future. I'm coming to this high school next year. They were juniors at the time.
Okay.
And so come next year, and I was in the high school jazz band, Bloomington High School.
Okay.
And all those same guitar players were in the class, and they're like, hey, why don't you come jam with us? And I was like I didn't even know what to say. I'm like,
and they were seniors.
Yeah, they were seniors.
And you were a freshman.
And I'm a freshman.
So that was like a huge compliment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, come jam with us. You know any like Beatles songs? And so we start just playing some songs together. And then they had their own band going at the time. So I had decided to start my own band with another bass player at the school. And his name's Matthew Villalobos, still good friends. And and
what was the name of your band?
Our name was Juniper Gray.
Juniper Gray.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it still going on, or
not right now?
It was kind of more of like your high school years.
Yeah.
Okay, because I mean, you're very young. You're 19.
Yeah.
And so basically, you went into high school, started this band.
Yeah.
Did you get to perform?
Yeah.
Tell us about some of the performances.
We would play a lot. There was this place called Pizza Studio in Fontana. They had a little outdoor spot, and so we would have some shows there. We played at the high school, and we also got invited to Rhythm Lounge hosted by San Bernardino Valley College. And so we got to go on air, and that was
it like radio air, like audio, or like was it TV?
TV broadcast.
Oh,
yeah.
So you got to be on TV.
Yeah, so we got on TV, we played some of our original songs, and then they asked us a couple questions, and we had an interview going, and then we closed it out with another original song. That was awesome.
Amazing. So let's talk about your original song. So you're actually, you're writing music, you're playing music,
Yes.
you're singing music. So what was your very first song that you wrote?
Ooh, let's see. First song that I wrote. I am not sure, but one that I always remember, the earliest one that I wrote and I still play to this day, is called Falling.
Okay.
And I wrote it, a lot of people say it's like, has a lot of Richie Valens inspired or influence in it. Like 60s ballad kind of thing.
Okay.
And so I had written that song, and we recorded it with Juniper Gray. It's actually on Spotify. So
okay. So Juniper Gray on Spotify?
Juniper Gray on Spotify.
Okay, there you go, guys. Make sure you go after you listen to the podcast. Go
there. And then so we recorded that. I put a guitar solo at the end of it, and a lot of people loved it. When we would play live shows, they would always ask, "Play Falling, play Falling."
Oh,
yeah.
So it became an audience favorite.
Yeah. So
that is amazing.
for like our local following. I actually had I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I had a backyard show this summer, and it was called Alejandro and Friends Acoustic Guitar Night. And so I invited a lot of those old friends that I was playing music with in high school. I invited them to come back, and we all did individual sets with our acoustic guitar and voice. And at the end, it was a pretty special moment. Andrew Zataray, who co-led Juniper Gray with me.
Okay.
I invited him back on stage, and we played Falling together.
Together? Oh, yeah. I bet that was such a beautiful moment.
It was, yeah.
That's so cool. So how many songs do you think you've written so far?
Oh, I've written too many, but
like over 50?
Maybe 40 to 50 songs.
Wow.
Not all that I've kept, of course, but like I like to.
You got to test the waters.
Yeah,
you know?
You got to test the waters.
You write a song, I'm sure you have to like play with it. See if you like it, because you might afterwards be like, it didn't click, right?
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes that I think about a lot when I'm songwriting is, I believe Ed Sheeran said this. He says, it's like a dirty faucet. So when you turn it on, you're going to get some muddy water that comes out at first. And then eventually, you'll get some clear water that comes out. And those might be the better songs.
Yes.
And then, and you just keep writing, and you'll get some dirt that comes out. You'll get some rough spots, but eventually the clean water is going to start flowing out.
The good stuff comes out, right?
Yeah. So I just make it a point to write stuff all the way through, and whether I keep it or not, that I'll decide later. But it's a good philosophy.
So we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back. I still have a lot of questions for you. And guys, make sure you stay connected, because Alejandro is going to play the piano for us at the end of the show. But let's go ahead and check out our commercial break.
Do you need help reaching more customers? At NB Media, we're a full-service advertising agency offering social media marketing, Hulu, Spotify, billboards, photo shoots, radio, TV, and websites. To see what else we offer, visit www.nb.media or call 951-777-1947.
All right, we are back from our commercial break. Thank you so much to our sponsor. Today we have Alejandro, the very talented musical artist, songwriter. I mean, he does it all, and he's only 19 years old. So let's dive into your passion for teaching music.
Yes.
I heard that you also teach. So let's talk about that.
So my passion for teaching, really sort of, I mean, I've always liked to teach people. Anytime anyone asks me anything about music, I'm like, oh, let me just tell you everything that I know and start a conversation. But as I got to my first year studying music education at the University of Redlands, I found out that a lot of people from different backgrounds had completely different experiences with music education growing up. And what I mean by that is that some students were enrolled in private lessons all their lives. Some students went to music camps, and other students never had any sort of like private musical training and anything like that. And so I was one of those students that didn't have any of the private lessons growing up. And as I was in high school getting my music education through a public high school, you don't question those kind of things. It's just you go to school, you take your music classes, and you go home.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like after I was exposed to that diverse environment where I saw like, whoa, we've all come from like pretty different backgrounds. What I found is that I wasn't enrolled in private music lessons because I was never encouraged to by my teachers in public high school.
Sometimes, yeah, you don't get the opportunities that you should because teachers and everything going on, they're overwhelmed with so much, you know, but you needed that like one-on-one.
And so what I found out is that at my high school, Bloomington High School, we have 97% minority student enrollment and 91% of which are economically disadvantaged. And so once you think about why we were never encouraged to take private music lessons, it's probably because a lot of these families just
didn't have the money.
Yeah. And so that's not something that you would tell these students like, hey, remind your parents to put you in music lessons, because it's just not very likely that these students can afford that.
Yeah.
Whereas when I get to college, I found that the orchestra directors and choir teachers would say, remember kids, enroll in private music lessons. In fact, here's a list of trusted teachers that you can reach out to. Oh. And so like I say, you move up to a more affluent community and they're like, yeah, you got to take private music lessons. You got to do this, got to do that. But like working class high schools don't have that kind of support for music. And that's just created like some like inequalities in music education, because a lot of students just don't have these equal opportunities.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. And what really inspires me is that my high school choir director, Ryan Duckworth, he nonetheless, despite being a working class high school, didn't have as much music education funding. He gave us quality foundational understanding of music. He taught us how to sing our scales, how to sight read music, and he always prepared us for a German or Italian art song at the start of the year. Oh. And so as a student, you don't question it. It's just like, all right, this is what we're doing. I'm going to do it. Yeah. You
have homework or, you just got to get it done.
Yeah, got to get it done. And it wasn't until later when I revisited the high school for one of their winter concerts that he said, I always start off the year with an Italian or German art song, because when these students go to apply for college music auditions, that's what they ask of them, singing a German or Italian art song. And so a lot of these students that don't have those private lessons might not even know what that is.
Yeah.
Versus these students who've grown up with private music lessons all their lives. They're like, oh, I know 100 of those.
Yeah.
So you could think about it almost like a filter for colleges or universities, that they're saying.
Well, it sounds like it's like a very huge part of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Like a piece of the puzzle.
Exactly.
And if you don't have it, you're kind of already like
you're
screwed,
lost. You're at a
right?
disadvantage.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. And so that's kind of like what drove you to become a teacher yourself.
Yeah. I got to give back. I got to make sure that all these students from like economically challenged communities, that they can have a music education for themselves and have more equitable chances at getting into music college and studying whatever it is that they want to do.
Yeah. Now let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So overall, what is your like goal? In the music industry, what is your goal?
That's an interesting question, because there's a lot that I do now, and there's a lot that I will always want to do.
Okay.
I'm always going to be playing and recording my music, and the degree that I'm going for right now for the spring semester of my senior year, I'm going to be student teaching at one of the local high schools, probably Bloomington High School, where I grew up. I've already done some volunteer hours with them, helping out with the choir program.
Nice.
But I'd just like to see where my education takes me. I know there's going to be lots of different routes and avenues that I can go down, but
like, do you see yourself becoming like a famous artist? Because I mean, you're 19, you're writing your own songs, you're making your own music. This kind of reminds me of, I mean, I don't know, like maybe like Taylor Swift. I don't know. She's freaking killing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, is that like maybe like a possibility of something that you'll be working towards? Or would you rather just like be a teacher and help the local community?
A little bit of both.
Or both? Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. That's awesome. So real quick, I want to make sure that we get you playing the piano a little bit. I know you can't sing today, so he is getting over a cold, but we appreciate you still being able to play the piano today. It's going to be really beautiful. But before we get to that, a couple things. Do you have any performances coming up that the audience can go check out?
Yeah. So I'm going to be playing, this might be before the production date, but I'm going to be playing at Quake Stadium this coming week. And I'm looking to, probably in the winter, I'm going to host another one of those Alejandro and Friends acoustic guitar nights.
Oh, fun.
So you can keep up with me on my social media. Instagram is Alejandro On Piano. I'll be posting everything about my upcoming performances, in the process of recording and releasing an EP, a debut EP actually.
Okay.
Under Alejandro On Piano on Spotify.
Okay. Yeah, so they can follow. You're on Spotify?
Yes.
Alejandro On Piano?
Yes.
Do you have any other platforms that you're on too that they might be able to?
Apple Music.
Okay.
And SoundCloud probably.
Okay.
So I'm in the process of recording that. All of that info is going to be on my Instagram, because that EP is not out at the moment.
Okay.
But soon enough.
Coming soon?
Coming soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So make sure you go follow Alejandro On Piano.
Yes.
That's his handle. Are you on YouTube?
On YouTube as well. Yeah.
Okay.
That one is Alex On Piano with spaces. Yeah.
All right. So before we go to our commercial break, and then you're going to go ahead and play for us, we're so excited. Is there any messages that you would like to send out to our listeners that might be, into music, or they have a passion for it, but they're nervous or scared or don't know where to start?
You just gotta do it. Put yourself out there, record music, and just trust yourself. Do what you got to do. And I wish you luck. Awesome.
I love that. Or do you say break a leg? Right? Break a leg. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Alejandro. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and go into our commercial break. And when we come back, Alejandro is going to play some music for us.
Do you need help reaching more customers? At NB Media, we're a full-service advertising agency offering social media marketing, Hulu, Spotify, billboards, photo shoots, radio, TV, and websites. To see what else we offer, visit www.nb.media or call 951-777-1947.
And we are back. It is time for our very first musical segment on What's Up Inland Empire with Alejandro Ruiz.
Yes.
And you want to go ahead and tell us what song you're going to be playing for us today?
So this song that I wrote is actually in Spanish, and it's called Cuando lejos me encuentro de ti, which translates to When I Find Myself Far From You. And this song, I guess I could read a couple of the lyrics in Spanish and then translate them.
Okay.
So I'll just go ahead. I would really love to sing it, but I just can't today,
unfortunately.
No,
it's okay. No worries. Next time.
It says, Cuando lejos me encuentro de ti, cuando el sol se acaba de brillar, aquí te esperaré por siempre, mi amor. Es que toda mi vida se va sin ti. And that means when I find myself far from you, and until the day the sun stops shining, I will always be waiting here for you, for the chance that you would come back. It's that my entire life is gone without you.
Oh, I'm like, where's my candle? And I'm going to, can't wait to hear it. Go for it. beautiful. And I can only imagine with the lyrics and everything. And, you know, I was watching you and, you know, your face, like you just got so passionate about it while you were playing. That was so beautiful. Thank you so much for coming and being on the show today. So guys, please make sure you go and follow Alejandro, support our youth. This is so beautiful. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you next week. Bye.